Hello, hello. Do I need to switch the algorithm this uses? I think I do. Let's try this one. That does not seem to be working good. Well, unless maybe if I move over. That seems fine. As soon as this comes into frame, though. Yeah, that's fine. Let's reduce the threshold a little bit. Yeah, no, don't like that. Every stream something has to break. So we're still seeing. Okay, this one sucks. Let's try this one. That sucks slightly less, but only slightly. Maybe. Oop. Do we have a winner? It still cuts off a bit more of my headphones than I was going for. There's only one other one, though. Let's see how this one works. This one's terrible. Okay. So this will be the one. Up that a little bit. Okay. I think we're good. It's fine for now, at least. Call it good. Okay, so today we're working on the Pirate Software Game Jam. I ought to check. Actually, here, I'll do this. This is Pirate Software Game Jam 14 that I'm working on. I'm making a platformer. I've already done my game design doc, as you should before you start on the project. I never make game design docs, but this jam forced me to, which is probably a good thing. So that's what I spent the first 2 days of it doing. Now we can actually get to work on the actual game part of it. Should be interesting. So I'm making a platformer. RPG platformer, sort of. Change that to 16 by 9. Not super worried about lighting, but I wanted to have the option, which is why I used URP. I want to be able to do shaders too. I probably won't have time for any of this, but it's good to know that I can do it if I want to, you know. So, first things first. Let me see if I can pull up pull up my game design document. This game is called Careful Where You Step. It is a psychological horror platformer. I used the winner from last year, or the year before, I'm not sure. I forgot already. A previous winner that's on develop.games as an example of a good game design document. I used it basically as a template and just input my own information. Oop, that's not correct. Here we go. So, I skip over most of that because there's some spoilers that I don't necessarily want to show yet, but what we're working on today is going to be player controller. Want to get some movement going. I'm going to be using... So, in the rules, there's nothing expressly saying you can't pull your own scripts. I have platformer scripts already, but I opted to make my own specifically for this project. Because I just feel a little bit better about it. It's honestly as simple as that. So, as always, the first thing we're going to do is create a box. And we're going to make this box too high. What else are we going to do here? Do we want the base to be... Probably, huh? Yeah, you know what? We're gonna make an empty, we're gonna call this player. We'll call this square player visuals. This is generally best practice. Put this at 0, and we'll make player visuals a child of that. Okay. Now, let's go folder, scripts, oops, excuse me. So, there's two things we want to do really quickly. Let's just make extensions. I'm not super worried about the input system, but I at the very least want input axis extension. Whoops. There we go. Okay. Actually, we're gonna call this input axis extension. We're gonna make it a static class. Act like it's gonna crash for a second. Scary. Oh, you know what? Mistakes were made. I didn't push creating the project. Created Unity project. Can I find... Oh, dear God. Oh, no, wait. Something else has to happen first, too. Shit. Where's GitHub? Always make sure your Git attributes and Git ignore are in the same folder as the Unity exe. Otherwise, everything breaks. And we don't like that. What do you mean it doesn't exist. You're not behaving the way you're supposed to. Okay, that's fine. Just move the whole thing into GitHub. No, we can't do that, can we? Shit. You should be confused. Okay, that's fine. Exit out of Unity. I'll just fix this properly. Move that there. Oh, right. Gotta get out of this too. That's okay. You guys just won't be able to see anything for a second. Try again. There we go. And then I'm assuming... Yeah, the get ignore started properly. Okay, cool. So now I just need to find... Where's the script that I started? Input manager, no. Settings. Input access, there it is, okay. We're gonna commit that. Check the logs, okay. Shadow Explorer, yeah, no longer exists. We're gonna remove, we're gonna add, should be fine. There we go. Probably get a long load now, but that's fine. We'll be starting where we're supposed to. Still waiting for the load. I better open up my chat preview here. Ignore, we're good. Sweet. Okay. Scripts, extensions, input access. It should show up on stream automatically. If it doesn't, then I'll fix it. Okay, did not. I'm just going to do that, and do that. Oh, you're saying that doesn't exist. Okay, cool. Oh, because I did that. Right. Then we do that. Now we can switch right before. Cool. Okay. Now, we're going to make a public enum axis, and it's going to contain x and y. Then we're going to have a public static string, which takes in this axis. Oops, not capitalist. There we go. That was not what I wanted. That's fine. There we go. Come on. No. Wait, why are you mad? What? What do you mean? Oh, I didn't name it. Jeez. To Unity axis. There we go. And then we just wanted to return axis dot or no. Axis equals axis dot x, in which case we want to return horizontal. Otherwise, we return vertical. There we go. All this does is it lets us use an enum to get horizontal and vertical as a string, which just makes life a little bit easier. Pretty much the long and short of it, because magic strings are scary. And I don't like them. That's really all it is. Okay. So now we're going to create another folder called player, and another script called player movement controller. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to require component type of rigid body 2D. Then we're going to have a private rigid body 2D. Whoops. Rigid body 2D. What did I do? Oh, it's not double capitalized. Duh. Okay, we're just gonna call that RB. Real quick. this. Sorry, I just need to take care of something off stream real quick before I forget. Also, just a heads up, if I very suddenly disappear, there's a record cold wave where I am, and the power's already gone out once, so it could happen again. Okay, so you were bullshitting me. Awesome. Just making sure. Okay, so we have the rigid body. We're gonna do something else here. Let's go... I'm gonna go to GitHub on my browser real quick. Because I can never remember the syntax of this. Let's see. Effect. Okay, that's not helpful. You're what I need. Cool. Okay. I'm going to create a new script called player stats. Delete this. We want this to be a scriptable object. Player stats. Player stats. There we go. This will hold all of our references and values just to make life a little bit easier. So we're not having to do all of that on the prefab. It's a touch more designer friendly, or at least I find it to be. So now we're going to do serialized field, private, player stats, stats. Okay. Now, on awake, we are going to do B equals get component rigid body 2D. Okay. So now we're going to be doing what's called a state machine. The way a state machine works, effectively, is the current state that you're in impacts or determines what code is going to run, and whatever, and you can only be in one state at any given time. So we're going to. There's a much more robust way of doing this, but I only need a basic one, so I'm just going to be doing it all in one class using an enumerator. So let's see. We're going to need idle, jumping, idle, moving, jumping, falling, hanging. That should be good. Okay. So then, in update, we're just going to check state. Private void check state. And then let's also make a private bool is grounded. And we're just going to add an on trigger enter 2D if collision.gameObject.layer. Now we need going to create a utils folder in Unity. I'm not going to switch to Unity view because it's just kind of silly. We're just going to grab physics utils. Could have put my extensions in here too, but whatever. It's going to be static. Does not need a mono behavior. We're just going to have public int ground. What we want? Ground underscore layer equals what? Alright, now we'll go into Unity. Let's go here, layer. So we don't have a ground layer, we're going to add layer. We'll make ground layer 3. Okay. So this is going to be equal to 3. Whoops, static. Okay. Then we want to just go physics utils dot ground underscore layer. Then is grounded equals true. I'm gonna copy this. Void on trigger. Exit 2D is grounded equals false. There we go. And and then unfortunately we are gonna, because of the way Unity works, we'll only be able to do one on trigger enter. So we will have to use physics.overlap box, which is not very efficient, but in a 2D game, it's fine. Especially if we only do one and we only really need to do it when we're falling. So we'll just make sure we're only checking it when it matters. Okay, so now we need... Right. Switch. You do a switch case that is going to take in state. Or, no. We need private state. Yeah. Underscore current state. We'll give that a default value of state.idle. Oop. This will take in current state. And then we also need one more bool. This will be private bool is switching state. So now we'll make a private void idle. Is switching state is true by default, because we want to do the first switch state things the first time we switch. So we just want to say if is switching state, do initial stuff. So ordinarily, if you were doing a more robust state machine, each state would be its own class, and and every time you switched, it would run a method once and then have an update that runs inside of it. For this, and I have character controllers that work that way, but it's really not necessary for something as simple as this, so I'm just not going to bother with it because it takes more time to set up, and I only have so much time. That is how game jams be. I'm just gonna say set up framework for player movement. Okay. Now we say case state dot idle. Oop. Is it this? No. What's wrong? Right, I need current state. Cool state.idle. Oh dear lord, why am I blanking on how fucking switch case statements work? Yeah. No, so I should have been right here. No, I was, okay. That's fine. Do initial stuff, and then we want to make sure is switching state equals false as soon as that is done. Okay, so let's get idle out of the way. So the first thing we want to do is in player stats, we're going to have a public physics material 2D. And this is going to be idle mat. We're going to have a public physics material 2D, which is going to be moving mat. What this will essentially accomplish is you want to be frictionless while you're moving, but you want friction to stop you when you stop. And I'm opting to just use the built-in systems for Unity physics because I generally like them. Okay, so we want to say RB dot shared material. Yep. Equals or no, it's not underscore. What I call it? Just stats. Stats dot idlement. What else do we want to do while we're idle? I suppose nothing. Okay, so now we want to know when we leave this state. So one is we want to say if RB dot, or no, if input dot get access raw access dot x dot to Unity access is greater than 0, then we want to say current state equals state dot moving. Is switching state equals true, and then return, because we don't want to do anything else in this method. Now, movement we want to do in fixed update. So we want to do fixed update, we want to do check movement. No, we want to do check physics state. Actually, do we care? Maybe we don't. Nope, we don't. We do not. Okay. So what we want to do is we want to go private void move. Nope. Move. And we want to say if is switching state RB dot shared material equals stats dot moving mat. And then, yeah, we just want to say is switching state equals false. And then, no, we don't return. That's it. We do that once. Let's add some comments, actually. Play, idle, animation. Play, movement, animation. I'm not going to worry about commenting too much because I am the only one who's going to be touching the script, and comments take time. And I will, in this instance, this is one of the rare instances where the time will save by not writing comments, I do believe will outweigh the time that it would cost on the off chance I have to come back to the script within the next 2 weeks and don't remember what I was doing with it. Not even 2 weeks, 12 days. Okay, moving mat, cool. So now, okay. So the only thing we have to worry about in fixed update is falling, I do believe. Yes. Okay, so let's go to player stats, and we just want to grab a public float acceleration. Acceleration. Let me cat out real quick. That's fine. All right, so now we're going to go. We want a private yeah, in this case we just want float horizontal move force. And we want to say horizontal move force equals acceleration, stats dot acceleration times input dot get axis raw axis dot x dot to unity axis. Here we go. So in this case, so now we want to go case state dot moving move break. And then in fixed update, we want to just say, let's go to our stats again and just do public float max speed. And we want to say rb dot add force horizontal move force force mode 2D force. Right. New vector 2, horizontal, oops. Actually, no, we should just do vector 2 dot right times horizontal force. Yeah. Right, because if it's positive, if this is positive, let me just double check. So if this equals 5, then it will equal 5. If it equals -5, then it will reverse this. Yeah. Yep. Cool. And then we just want to say RB dot velocity equals new vector 2 math dot clamp RB dot velocity negative stats dot max speed stats dot max speed, and then we want just RB dot velocity dot y, RB dot velocity dot x here. There we go. Now we cap our max speed. I want these controls to be very tight and snappy, which is why I'm not doing variable speeds. Ordinarily, I would do a different speed for if you're in the air versus fall, or like jumping versus falling versus on the ground. But in this case, I want it to be very, very snappy and intuitive. So I'm just going to leave it constant no matter what state you're in. Okay. So now let's do the other switches from idle. So we can go straight from idle to falling, right? Actually, no, we can't, because we have to be moving to fall. But we can go straight from idle to jumping. So let's go ahead and we're going to use buttons for this, just because it creates native controller support. I would normally do something a little bit more robust. I would have my own input system and everything, but in this case, I don't need it. And we don't need the fancy input system either. Legacy input system is perfectly fine for the purposes of what we're doing here. Input manager, horizontal vertical is fine. Yeah, because we just have get access raw. Jump is already space. Okay, so jump is fine as is, actually. And horizontal and vertical jump should be the only buttons we need. So we're golden there, which is nice. That's a little bit of time save. Hey, Joy. Welcome. I saw, yeah, it's all good. I saw, you posted in your Discord that you had some stuff going on, right? Like some personal stuff, so yeah, completely understandable. But it's good to see you. Hope you're doing good. I'm doing a game jam. Yeah, some fun things. Yeah. No, completely understandable. I hope things have gotten better for you, or are getting better, or do get better in the future, depending on, you know, what the circumstances are. I hope improvement is on the horizon for you, at the very least. Let me cat in. Even though I just let her out. Definitely much better than it was. Good. I'm glad to hear it. Okay. Private const string. Actually, you know what? Let's put this in physics utils. I don't think it matters a whole lot, but I just like it a little better. Public static string jump button equals jump. Okay, so from idle, we just want to say if input dot so what exactly am I looking at? So I am doing the Pirate Software Game Jam number 14. The theme is it's spreading. I'm making a platformer about spreading corruption. I'm making the character controller right now. Rushed cat cam. So I have 12 days, 12 more days. I spent the first 2 days just working on the document. 12 days to make a fully functioning game. Which is honestly, sir, please don't step on my keyboard, thank you. It's honestly more time than I'm used to having for game jams. Physics utils dot jump button. Then we're gonna grab all of this. So what I'm making right now is called a state machine. The way that it works is we have an enumerator, which an enumerator is basically just an integer. It's whole numbers that are represented by a finite number of labels. And then what we have here, and it can only ever equal one thing at a time, obviously. So what we have here is called a switch case statement. It just checks all of these values, and whichever one it equals, it runs that method. And so what this does is we can switch the state and have it run specific code only when it's in a specific state. It just makes it a lot easier to manage everything that can change. And then we have this is switching state, which anything you want to do one time, it will do in the beginning. Much cute fairy cat, indeed. Indeed, indeed, indeed. Okay, so if we hit the jump button, and yeah, I'm gonna go with jump button down. Don't think we want to be able to hold it constantly. Go into the jumping state, is switching state equals true. So now let's make a private, let's make jump below move. Private void jump. What happens when we jump? We want to have moving material, no matter what. And then we want to play the jump animation, obviously. Right, and then we want gravity manipulation here as well. So public float. Let's make jump gravity a thing, and then let's make public float fall gravity a thing. Nope. Okay, go back here. Oh, and I guess, yeah, we want to apply the force here too. You wouldn't normally apply force in update, but because it's impulse force and we're doing it once, you want to do it on the frame generally. Or maybe I'm talking out my ass and I'm going to find out that was a terrible idea and everything's going to be broken. But I don't think so. Okay, we also want public float jump force. Add force, and then we just want vector2 dot up times stats dot jump force, and we want force mode 2D dot impulse, because we want it all to apply instantly. Okay, so that all happens at once. Right, and b dot gravity scale equals stats dot jump gravity. Oop. Second cat is not in the best of moods, so I'm not going to cat cam her. She's being pestered a little bit. Okay, cool. So now... while we're moving... Yes, so while we're jumping, we want to just also do this. Oop. Because we're not doing variable speeds, so we're just going to have some duplicate code there. Actually, here, let's do private void calculate movement. Sir, be nice. Put that there. Now we just do calculate movement instead. Calculate movement. Beautiful. Okay, so now we need to check two things. If input dot get button physics utils dot jump button.
Vexen Edward has entered the cult.
Vexen Edward, welcome to the Cult of Dev. I am your benefactor, the Dreadman himself. You may on this day ask me one boon, with the understanding that I will ask something of equal value in the future. Do you accept these terms? If that is how you pronounce your name, I'm not sure. And if you don't engage with the bit in a second, then I will just answer your question. But this is fun for me. The contract is sealed. I will answer your question now.
Joy, thanks for stopping by. It was good to see you again. Have a great night. Yeah, so to answer your question, so the way this works is, it's a state machine, which means that there's specific circumstances that will allow you to enter any state from any other state. So you can only enter states that I choose from states, if that makes sense. So if you are idle or you are moving, you'll be able to jump from those states and only from those two states. In order to enter those states, you will have to be grounded. So for example, when you're jumping, the way we'll determine you're now falling, which is a different state, is if you've stopped hitting the jump button, or your Y velocity is less than or equal to 0, right? And then, yeah, you can't jump from falling. You can't jump from jumping. And then while you're falling, you'll know that you're have entered idle or moving once you become grounded, which is checked via a trigger. There will be a trigger at your feet. When it touches something that is the ground layer, then you're now grounded. If you are falling and you become grounded, then you are no longer falling, right? So it's that simple. That's why I love state machines. They greatly simplify the number of checks you actually have to do. So in this case, we're doing a variable height on jumps. So if you are holding down the button, then you go to basically the full height you can jump. If you let go of it, then we'll start falling. Falling will check basically if your height is what am I trying to say? If your speed is still up, then it will taper it off, right? Because I don't want to do. I want to do smoothed height. So I'm just going to go. So if we're not holding the button down, then current state equals state dot falling, and is switching state equals true. We'll return. Yeah, I guess I can just do an and statement here, or an or rather. Or our rigid body dot velocity dot y is less than or equal to 0. Oop. So yeah, if we've started falling naturally, or if we stop holding the jump button down, we start falling. And then falling will be the one thing that will have its own part of fixed update if current state equals state dot falling and rb dot velocity dot y is greater than 0. Why are you mad about that? Oh, whoops. Then we want to say, right, we're going to go to stats. We're going to add a public float jump curve visor. I don't know if I'm sold on that name, but it's fine. So then we just want to say rb.velocity equals new vector2 rb.velocity.x rb.velocity.y divided by stats dot jump curve divisor, and then I guess we want to multiply that by public float jump curve vector. Just give ourselves a little more control over it. Yep. Cool. There we go. So for falling, and our velocity is greater than 0, then we just make it fall off. And then we just want to do state dot falling. And we want to fall. Bring fall. Private void fall. Yeah, from jumping, you really only need to go to falling, or there's a circumstance where you'd go to... No, you only want to go to hang from falling as well. Yep. So, yeah, from jumping, you can only go to falling. And then from falling... I think we'll probably have it that you just go to idle, and then from idle, you go to movement. That said, I am going to end the stream, at least for now, because dinner's about to go have dinner, and might go live again later. So, thank you all for watching, thanks for hanging out. I will most likely be back. And I'll be streaming a lot while I...
Faxon Edward has joined the cult.
Thank you for joining the Cult of Dev.